Ian Garry, the gift that keeps on giving. What are you doing, mate? Those of you that don't know, UFC 296 is coming up this weekend. It's an incredible fight card. We got Leon Covington, we got Shavkat, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, Tony Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett. I'm going to do a video on these two. And then we've got Vicente Luque versus Ian Garry. Everyone is pretty much unanimously agreeing that Ian Garry is most likely going to win this fight. But my, Ian Garry needs a new PR team. We've covered this Ian Garry situation in these two videos here. Ian Garry has taken a huge L. Sean Strickland goes in. Sean Strickland called out Ian Garry and his wife, which I'll tell you about in a minute. And then this one, Dylan Dennis leaks Ian Garry's wife's DMs. Is Dylan joining the UFC? I'll link these two videos below if you want to go and watch them after this one. And just to refresh your memory, Dylan Dennis shared this screenshot of Ian Garry's wife in Dylan Dennis's DMs. She sent him the prayer emoji. He said, "Where are you from?" She said, "England, but half Brazilian. How are you today?" He said, "Very cool, doing great. Where'd you live?" And then we can't see the rest of the conversation. It was argued if these DMs were real or not, and was Dylan just trying to capitalize on this little bit of news right now. I mean, he did get 17 million views on this post, so that's insane. Before we dive into it, if you haven't seen those previous two videos and you're still new to all this, you're new to MMA, here is a little bit of context as to what this storyline is about. So Ian Garry is a top MMA prospect in the UFC welterweight division, and he's fighting this weekend at UFC 296 against a pretty decent opponent. Ian Garry is also undefeated, and he's quite a good fighter, to be fair. He's Irish, and some people are calling him the next Conor McGregor, mainly due to his outgoing demeanor and his big personality. Well, recently he's been taking a little bit of heat from the MMA world because he's been going on a little bit of a social media campaign to get more attention and to build his brand. And we later found out through other MMA reporters' research that a lot of this was orchestrated by Ian Garry's wife, which is completely fine, but more details started emerging of Ian Garry, the wife's ex-husband, and the whole setup that they've got. Quick recap: Ian Garry's wife wrote a book on how to be a wag, and for my American audience, a wag is a wife and girlfriend of a professional athlete, because there's women out there who almost make it the life's goal to get with a professional footballer or professional fighter because that's where the money is. Some of these women try to position themselves in front of these professional footballers, get wifed up, have kids, and then they're sorted for life then. Each to their own. I'm not judging them for it. I've seen it happen in person when I used to work in some of the bars in Liverpool where all the footballers and wags would go. It was hilarious. You'd see the footballers all standing there and then all the girls like that, looking over at the table trying to get the footballers' attention. Also, Ian Garry's wife's ex-husband is Ian Garry's nutritionist. Even if my wife's ex-boyfriend or ex-husband was the best nutritionist in the world or the best fight coach in the world, I would actually rather have a subpar nutritionist than pay my wife's ex-husband to sort my nutrition out for me. Nah, am I wrong for saying that, boys? What do you think about that? What would you do? Also, the ex-husband has got Ian Garry on a vegan diet, which isn't the best for a professional athlete. I don't care what people say about being able to get protein from beans and lentils. A vegan diet is not as good for the body as a well-balanced diet. And when I say this, often all the vegan defenders out there will say, "Sean, meat's bad for you. Red meat causes cancer." It doesn't. There's intricacies and grey areas with regards to the studies that were done on that whole red meat thing. Yeah, it causes cancer when you're basically eating zero vegetables. The moment that you start having a well-balanced diet with lots of fruits and vegetables and good starchy carbs in there, all of the cancer risks disappear completely. If you want to be a vegan, be my guest. I've got no gripe with it. Just don't go saying that it's better for professional athletes. We also found out that the ex-husband stayed in the house with Ian Garry and his wife for a certain amount of time. Allegedly. I can't remember who it was who said that. One of the MMA reporters. It might have been Sean Strickland. I don't know. I'm just reporting on what other people have said. We also found out that he's being kicked out of 3 different MMA gyms, including Leon Edwards' gym, and apparently, the reason he got kicked out of the gym is because he was showing up with cameras every single day, which is fine to a certain extent because media is a huge part of being an MMA fighter. But when you've got multiple cameras in the gym every single day, filming all of your sparring sessions, I can understand why some people will start feeling a bit uncomfortable with that. Think about it. If you're having an off day and you're not feeling too good, next thing Ian Garry comes in with multiple cameras shoved in your face, getting loads of footage of you getting your head kicked in, and you know that that footage is going to be used on Ian Garry's social media, you're going to be a little bit cheesed off with it, aren't you? And lastly, we also now know that it might be Ian Garry or his wife who are responsible for taking down multiple videos on Red Pill MMA's YouTube channel, and that's allegedly according to Red Pill MMA. I don't know that for a fact, that's just what he said. So Ian Garry's public image isn't doing too great at the moment. Apparently. Now, Ian Garry, being the social media expert that he is, he's addressed the haters in his latest video, and in watching this, I honestly don't know what's going through his head when he's making it. There's clearly a bit of delusion here. Is it him who's delusional, or is it his wife in his ears saying, we need to make this video, and this is what you need to say, and you need to address the haters. Any publicity is good publicity. Well, let's actually react to this. I'll have to pause it here and there for copyright purposes, and he says a few things which are a little bit silly. He's being a silly Billy in this video, okay? Let's listen to what he's got to say for himself.
They hate the way you walk. They hate the way you talk. They said you're just a McGregor fanboy.
Not really, it's just the fact that you copy everything that McGregor does. He said they hate your wife, they hate your family.
And they even hate the food you eat.
And they hate the food you eat. This is a little bit weird. No one said that they hate your wife. He just said that she's made a book on how to be a wag and that she's pulling all the strings behind the scenes. Because that's what you said on the Ariel Haywani podcast when you done your interview. You said that she's the boss. No one hates your family, no one hates your kids, and no one hates the food you eat. People were just pointing out that it's your wife's ex-husband who's your nutritionist. That's it. Okay, you're a vegan. Absolute nonsense. But let's remove the fact that you're vegan out of the picture for a second. Your wife's ex-husband is your nutritionist. That's what people have found funny. That's why this is a story, because it's funny. You know, you're a fighter. You're meant to be a red-blooded, cannibalistic alpha male, 14-0, destroying everyone in the welterweight division in the best organisation in the world. And your wife's ex-husband is like, yo, mate, here's your lentil burger. Oh, man. Do you want any more chickpeas with that? So it's not people hating your food. People are just laughing at the situation. Who cares about the burger? That looks like a nice burger, I will say that.
They said you're just
soy boy. Came up soy boy. Now, I've got to say, I like that he's playing into it a little bit, the way it's popped up on the screen. Wag. It popped up on the screen. Soy boy. He's playing into it a little bit. I just don't think this is the best way to go about things. I think really he should take a step back from social media and reset and let all the dust settle off this entire situation. Go out there, get a few wins, and hope in a year or two people forget all this ever happened. But we'll dive into that in a minute. Let's listen to what else he's saying.
Hype train that you get kicked out of every gym.
Well, that's true, though. You've been kicked out of 3 gyms. So, I mean, yeah, they say you've been kicked out of every gym. Yes, because you have. So, I'm not sure where you're going with this, Ian.
They hate that everyone is talking about you. They hate that your brand is booming.
Well, everyone's talking about you, but in a negative light. And, like, I wish it was different as well, because, like, no one really deserves this level of scrutiny and this amount of videos done about you. But it's the internet. When you put yourself out there, you have to expect that you're going to get people coming for you. The bigger your audience grows, the worse it's going to be. You're going to get trolls. You're going to get death threats. I've had death threats. Okay? He's going to get death threats. He's going to get people coming for him, for his wife. It's just the way it is. You said your brand is booming. Is it, though? Even Red Pill MMA said, well, why is your brand booming? Because you sold a few t-shirts with Jeff Neal's mugshot on them. And we'll come back to the statement that his brand is booming in a second.
That you have cameras on you all the time.
Yeah, you'd have cameras on you all the time because they're the videographers that you pay for. It's not like you're doing a UFC embedded where you've got these guys from the UFC production crew coming out and doing mini documentaries on you. Or like McGregor, where he's probably got a lot of people following him around all the time. Ian Garry is paying for his own production crew, okay? It's like these Z-lister celebrities. I'm not saying Ian Garry's one of these, by the way, but hear me out. It's like one of these Z-lister celebrities where they ring up the paparazzi and they say, right, okay, we're going to be at this bar at 9 p.m. tonight, okay? Make sure you're outside. Yeah, okay, cool. And then next thing, they show up at 9 p.m., they get the pictures taken, and then the photographers sell those pictures to the Daily Mail. Oh, we got Paris Hilton spotted outside this bar at 9 p.m. on a Saturday. She had to ring them and tell them, and that's what people like the Kardashians do. You think the paparazzi know exactly where they are at all times? No, it's all orchestrated.
They hate that you're interesting, you're entertaining, and they really hate that...
Well, he is interesting and entertaining.
...you're undefeated.
Who hates that you're undefeated? No one hates you. And also, no one's actually said that he's going to lose this fight. Out of all, like, the main MMA reporting channels that I follow, I haven't heard anyone say that Vicente Luque is going to beat Ian Garry. So I can't even remember if Vicente Luque is coming off a win or a loss. But whatever. Ian Garry's got the momentum behind him, so no one's actually predicting that Ian Garry is going to lose here. Everyone is on Ian Garry's side with regards to the martial arts aspect. In fact, everyone kind of likes him as a fighter. It's just the personality behind him that people aren't really a big fan of. Look at someone like Colby Covington. He's almost like the opposite now. People love him for his personality because he's that much of a heel. People have kind of taken to it quite well, but his fighting style isn't the best. His personality is super exciting. His fighting style's boring. Ian Garry's almost the opposite. His fighting style is exciting. His personality all over the place. But I believe it's because he's not being himself and he's got the wife behind the scenes saying too many things.
They hate the way you run things your way. They hate the way you win, and win some more. And they hate that on December 16th, they'll all be watching you win again.
And I actually hope he wins. I do not wish bad on the lad. I think he will win, and I hope he does, because out of him and Vicente Luque, he's got more potential to be a future superstar. This is a little bit of a skid for him, bit of controversy early on in his career. He'll eventually get past this further down the line, but I don't think people are going to let this slide for a long time. Okay, so there we go. Let's take a look at some of the comments. Who's ready for a laugh? Your baby really has your nutritionist's eyes. That's amazing, that one. And there's the wife here. The perfect response. Hashtag Adidas. Someone said, you're a succubus. A succubus is a blood-sucking demon, I think. We found that out last time. Someone said, oh, little cook boy put his comments back on, but now he's actually limited the comments again, so you can't comment on this post anymore. Someone said, bro really thought he did something with this. And then this summarizes a lot of the hate that he's been getting. Playing victim after you bullied Neil and Jeff. LMAO. You don't like it when it gets personal about you. So that's the thing. Ian Garry can dish it out to other fighters, and he pretty much slandered Neil Magny and Jeff Neal. At the moment, people turn on Ian. Oh, he doesn't like it at all. Someone said, you're an inspiration, Ian. You remind me of Brendan Schaub. Oh, bro, please don't let your nutritionist see this. He's going to cut your bedtime. Oh, man, this is going to be quite a while before it gets better for Ian Garry. So right now, it's not looking good. Something else I wanted to touch upon is personal brand. So his engagement right now isn't the best. Look, he's got 503 followers. But check this out. If we take a look at his reels, he's got quite a lot of views, but a low amount of likes. Almost 300,000 views, but only 5,000 likes. And then down here, 300,000 views, 4,000 likes. 326,000, 5,000 likes. Almost 1 million views, 17,000 likes. So he has a high view count, but a low like count, which means that there's a lot of eyeballs on him at the moment, but people aren't rocking with him. People aren't proper fans, because it's going to be the fans who comment and actually like the posts. Then you've got people like myself who are coming on, watching the videos, but not liking them, which means after this fight and after this drama dies down, he might notice a big dip in engagement. He's got 500,000 followers. I personally think this approach that he's taken is the approach that someone would take if they're trying to build a following and a brand from zero. It's the exact approach that I took on my Instagram. My old Instagram was dead, so I made a new one to try and build up from scratch, and I started posting loads of reels because reels get pushed to a bigger audience, and I was building from zero. Also, if you want some good fitness content and some good fitness advice, go and follow me on Instagram, because some of the videos on here are really good for just general gym tips and gym advice and lifting weights. I get a lot of people DM me on Instagram saying, I need some advice on the gym, and I'm like, lads, there's 334 posts on my Instagram. Hundreds of them are reels, and it's all to do with the gym and nutrition. So go and follow me on there. And if you need some additional help, I've got my free Natural Physique Academy. It's the first link in the description. There's over 70 videos in here on training, nutrition, how to track progress, how to make balanced meals, how to choose proper foods. It goes through how to track your calories. It gives you calorie calculators, training fundamental series, explains different types of training modalities. I've also give you 12 free training programs. How much more can I say? Go and download that program. I've currently got 742 of yous in the program. I might start charging for it when we hit 1,000 members, even if it's just like a $5 or a $10 or something. So join it now whilst you can. Stop asking me for advice in the DMs. It's all right there for you. But anyway, back to Ian Garry. What I believe he should do is calm down on this social media front. Post a little picture here and there, little bit of training footage here and there, and don't show off so much of the personality. You don't need to. Your fighting will do the talking for you, right up till championship status. Look at someone like Alex Pereira. He doesn't even speak English, but everyone likes him because he comes across as a genuine guy, and he's just a phenomenal fighter. A prime example of someone who's just letting his hands and his feet do the talking for him. Trust me, Ian, I'm a social media expert. So absolute delusion on Ian Garry and his wife's behalf, dropping that video on his Instagram there. If he keeps going in this direction, people are going to start tuning in to watch him lose, and he's not really going to have those die-hard fans that someone like McGregor McGregor's got. But don't get me wrong, he's got the talent. He's a really good fighter. I think he'll win this fight on the weekend, but only if he stays focused and tunes out all this noise surrounding this social media crap and all the stuff to do with his wife and his wife's ex-husband. One thing's for certain, I cannot wait for the press conference. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream it because I might have a potential big opportunity come up this weekend and I might not be here in the country. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted on that. But let me know in the comments what you guys think of this. Remember to opt in for your free physique course, link in the description, and follow me on Instagram for more workout and nutrition advice. Okay, like this video, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you all tomorrow